Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing good and enjoying your day so far. Today is the day we get a really good look at the new Modern Warfare 3 title. Lots of optimism, as there always is at this time of year about this game. Maybe this time it's going to be slightly different though. Lots of pros excited about this for many different reasons. Dashy though believes that maybe he could even have an advantage when the new game comes out, given the prevalence of the MWIII maps that he played a lot of in his competitive sniping days back in the day. Will this give OpTic an advantage at the start of the new game? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Congrats as well to Nature and his wife for having a daughter. That was confirmed yesterday. Really cool news, I think, for the entire scene, to be honest. And let's just dive straight in, because Atlanta FaZe, as they say, this duo's chatting COD next. We've got JoeDeceives, we've got Cellium on the right-hand side, and, well, there's loads of FaZe guys actually attending this COD next thing, which is going on today. Pretty much when the game gets revealed and these guys get to play the game, and we'll see if it's any good or not in theory. Now, there was some gameplay leaks that came out last night from a leaker source, and, okay, I'll share a couple of screenshots from it, although that if I show the gameplay, DMCA, you know, the account, pretty much a lot of the stuff got nuked there last night, but there was still some gameplay clips floating around. I will say the strafe speed on the ARs looks good, the time to kill looks good. You know, lots of things that look pretty good. And the maps look spectacular, right? I mean, they're the old school MWIII maps, but the way they've been remastered looks pretty impressive to me. Now, I will also say there's still questions around where the COD Leaks are going to be. Are we going to be on YouTube? Are we going to be on Twitch? And a couple of days ago, Call of Duty said, watch COD next on YouTube or Twitch/Call of Duty. That's where you earn some rewards if you want these things. Today or yesterday, the COD League, though, only tweet out the youtube.com/COD League one. So I don't know whether this is a sign of anything. We know that Hex did say a while ago that he thinks it's going back to YouTube, but since then we then heard Zuma say, and okay, Zuma sources, say what you want, but you know, we then heard him say, well, you know, I'm not so sure that's necessarily the case yet, or there were some rumours about that anyway, and even we can see in this graphic here, youtube.com/COD League. So I don't know if that means anything, maybe not. They might just have wanted to promote the Twitch one day and then promote the YouTube another day for the beta code and stuff that they're giving away. Brian Saint is going to play here for the Ravens, and just I did mention yesterday on Saint and the Ravens and their roster they're potentially building. Saint has been the coach of Clay before, he was the coach of Standy before, he was also the coach of Attach before, so you know, maybe there's some pieces that we can put together there in theory. Now, this was the leaker account yesterday, and there's been some rumours that this leaker account, you know, sometimes companies will deliberately plan leaks to build excitement, you know, it's a marketing tactic. And this account was only recently made. Very quickly after the leaks were coming out, there were loads of kind of accounts that are going to COD Next that have followed this account. So there were some theories as to whether this is like an intentional leak, you know, like good marketing really. But still, Bravo 6 going dark, you're blocked. And yeah, so Activision obviously shut a lot of this stuff down. And one of the clips that was shown has now been DMCA'd. You guys know how it goes. Now, we'll see gameplay later today anyway, so it's not a big deal. I did want to share a couple of things, though, just some screenshots from what he came out with. One of which is this, and we kind of knew this was happening anyway, but the covert sneakers option, which is effectively Ninja perk, they do say eliminates footstep sounds. So eliminates, I mean, eliminate, there's no other way to read that. Eliminate is done, like 0, you know? Like, that is literally what it means. It's not reduces footstep sounds or anything like that. It is eliminates footstep sounds. And this is one of the great things about COD Ghosts, which the guys played the other day in the Cash App Legacy match or whatever. Footsteps with Ninja on, dead silence, whatever it was called in that game, were 100% silent. There was absolutely no noise you could hear. Even Black Ops 2, dead silence wasn't fully silent, and even awareness would effectively counter it and make dead silence sound like normal footsteps again. Especially nowadays with loudness equalization in play, we just can't be having footstep sounds. It just ruins the game, and it, you know, increases the importance of loud EQ and all the drama that's associated with that. So this is a good sign. There was also this that is quite blurry, but this is an ELO site, effectively, from Black Ops 3. The ELO had, a lot of people really liked it. I actually kind of preferred the red dot, I'm not going to lie, or the reflex, whatever it was called. But the ELO was a fan favourite site. I don't know that here we are getting excited over Red Dot sight in the year 2023, but nonetheless, I know that people are excited about it, so I thought I'd mention it. So as a result of this and some of the other leaks coming through, Shotzzy and other pros were particularly excited about the game. There's obviously, I'm sure they've seen some stuff already having turned up to the next event, and they'll get to play it today. And as Shotzzy says, COD is back, see you guys tomorrow. And even as Kenny says, it do look good, but I'd hate to be disappointed, right? So this is the thing. I mean, you know, again, people are getting carried away a little bit with the expectations, but I will say, like, having seen the gameplay, it does look better than we've had the last couple of years. And look, it's a sad state of affairs when the things that are bare minimum, dead silence working, red dot sights, or red dot, well, good red dots, but also red dots on the minimap, these sort of things, we get them and we're like, wow, let's go. They actually did it, you know, the devs listened. Does it mean, you know, we should be celebrating this? Not necessarily, but it's just the state of COD, I think, over the last few years. And I understand why we're at this point. So the OpTic guys, in another phenomenal episode of this game chat thing they do, the vibes, I mean, look, I know people always talk about the vibes with the OpTic teams, especially because you get to see more content from the OpTic teams than you do elsewhere. But, you know, even going into Vanguard, right, there was all the time, oh, the vibes on this team were impeccable. And they were, for sure, on that elite team. But it still eventually collapsed. But the vibes here were, you know, pretty fantastic on this game chat episode. They could do one of these every week, I mean, if they wanted to, and like, they're honestly fantastic content. So they were talking all sorts of stuff. Did want to mention though, at the start they talked about the MW2 maps, right? The, well, MW2 maps that are all going to be in MW3. Those are the launch maps. Now, some players, such as Shotzzy, never played this, right? Like, that was way before his time, as it was very slightly before my time. But Dashy did play a lot of Modern Warfare 2 when he was getting into the competitive sniping scene back then. Him and Kenny reckon, especially Dashy, that he knows all the maps, all the jump spots, basically everything there is to know about that game. He knows an awful lot about it, and that could actually prove to be a bit of an advantage when the season gets underway.
So it might be good, it might be bad.
Like, are they adding other maps other than like the original maps? You know what I'm saying?
We don't know. I wouldn't know.
Like DLC.
I just know, I'm pretty sure every map from MW2 is back.
So Invasion
Afghan,
is
I'm pretty sure all of those.
Which one's that one?
That was like
I think it's like the broken down buildings. Yeah.
I think we're gonna play that map for all the.
You know what I could see in Hardpoint, low key, favela. You reckon?
Bro, no, that's gonna be troll.
That's a CTF.
That's so troll. That's CTF for sure.
Oh, these are maps.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Invasion is low key the map that
Invasion S&D's got like.
Yeah, I think it's
what
gonna be
about Karachi?
Wait,
Scrappy.
Wait, which one is that one though?
I remember Invasion.
So it's like broken down buildings.
Yeah.
There's
a cafe.
There's like a street with water.
Scrappy would be way too small.
Karachi could work with Hardpoint.
Karachi would work. Yeah.
I think Scrappy is my favorite map, like probably all time. But I feel like with tax sprint cards, it might be insane.
Yeah, that's gonna be too small. Yeah, Skid Row could work with Hardpoint as well. But they're 6v6, so they could like expand the maps. That's what I don't understand. It's like they call the map 6v6, but like the only maps that are really like 6v6 back in the day is like Afghan, Derail. Like we're not playing Derail. I will tell you, we're not playing Derail. A state too is like all those are big.
Honestly, for search, we're probably playing
on the plus could be
Karachi, Invasion, High Rise, Terminal, Scrappy.
You think we're playing S&D Afghan?
Yeah.
On the plus,
Afghan was in. I'm pretty sure Afghan was in for the meta for a bit in MW2, and then I took it out. I could be wrong, but
I think we're playing Karachi Search, bro.
Yeah,
when you played that back in the day, it was so cheesy.
Karachi Search, yeah.
Rundown.
It's only good for Karachi.
Rundown.
Only good for Search.
You ever play Rundown?
No, I can't remember that, man.
Bro, I literally only remember Rust, Scrapyard, Terminal.
So you know,
I remember them all besides Rundown.
That's it.
I remember.
You know Favela?
Which one's that one?
You should. You would
top
know
right, Favela.
Sure.
It's like
that's like the trick shotter map.
You would have to know this, man.
I don't really, just by that, from that, I'd be able to tell what the map is.
Bro, I played this game too.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is from here,
this one here,
if you don't know what it is from here, then you didn't play it at all.
Yeah, this map, if you don't know this map, then yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I played this.
Okay. No,
Damn, is this a DLC map?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I know you. Hey, listen, bro, I know all the jump spots in this game, bro. I tell you,
y'all gotta teach me.
There's some good cheese in this game, but like I said, it might play out different. It's like how Cold War was like. You play it differently than you played it back in BO2. Like
this is something that I discussed with Clayster a little while ago, right? That Clay is usually pretty good at the start of games, and the advantage of knowing, and okay, sure, the pros will figure out things over time, but even, 8 months into the game, when we get to the World Championship, usually, there's new things, there's new spots, there's new ideas that are being tried on these maps. Now, these maps, though, are well tested. They've been around for a long time, and there might be slight differences and tweaks, but there will be certain things that players that have played way back in the day know about that brand new players won't. So I imagine the main advantage here is going to be in the early search and destroy tournaments, where this type of map knowledge is going to be valuable. By the time the season starts, you'd think think it would have evened out somewhat. But still, there probably is some advantage for those that actually played these maps a lot back in the day, understands the way the spawns used to work, maybe the way they'll work nowadays. Obviously, the game modes are slightly different, though, in fairness, right? Hardpoint wasn't played back then, but just general ideas and jump spots and theories as to the way these maps used to play could come in valuable. And let's not forget, back then, Dashy was, very young, but he was playing in effectively the competitive sniping scene. I'll come back to these maps in a second. But yeah, if you guys didn't know about this, Dashy's obviously pretty good at being a competitive sniper, as you might well expect. This is a clip that Hex put up a while ago on Black Ops 3 of him just completely, I mean, okay, it's not Modern Warfare 2, but you guys get the picture, right? I mean, this is just pretty spectacular stuff. He just gets all these kills forever, and man, the Locust, what a weapon that was. But they were talking about the different maps in play here, and yeah, Invasion was one that is really being looked at. There's a couple of options, right? I mean, maybe even Skid Row, there's a way. It depends, because back in the day, the maps that were played competitively were High Rise was played, Invasion was played, Karachi was played for Search and Destroy, although that Kenny did say he reckons it might be viable for Hardpoint as well, Scrapyard, and then Terminal. Those were the 5 that were played in competitive back then. But fast forward to today, especially with Hardpoint coming in, there's maybe an option elsewhere. Like, I think that Afghan is unlikely, Durrell is very unlikely, Estate is unlikely, Favela, I don't really see it personally, and I don't think I see Quarry. But there's a chance maybe for like Skid Row, or maybe even like Sub-Base. They could maybe work in some of these modes. And for Search and Destroy, I think a lot of maps can actually work. Just depends where the spawns are and the way that certain situations are set up with the bomb site locations. Then lots of maps can work. Like Arklov Peak worked, in my opinion, it worked well for Search and Destroy in MW19. Although it would have been terrible for the respawn modes, I think it was a good S&D map. So there's some options here that they can go for. I'm sure the pros will test things out. I'm sure they'll also test out what the third game mode is going to be, which is definitely a big talking point. But yeah, will that give Dashy and OpTic a bit of an edge at the start of the game? It's not like that he's the only player that played this game back in the day. Clay, Slasher, these type of guys. But Dashy still feels like kind of a new gen player, even though he is like 24, I think now. But he definitely does seem to have some knowledge that will be valuable when the new game comes out. And this is the general feeling of the players that, yeah, Zinni says, I might have hung it up too soon. He reckons that he's going to be good at this game and it's going to be pretty good. And obviously we see some of the gameplay coming through. Crone's like, look, I still don't have any excitement. I've been fooled too many times. I'm kind of in this camp as well, but even as JKL says, everybody that I've spoken to that's played MW3 has had very positive things to say. Perhaps they're just jaded over the last few years, but we'll see if the gameplay we see is actually any good. People seem to think we're back. From what I've seen, the time to kill, and also the strafe speed is a big one to me, right? The fact that you can use an ACR, and while you're moving and shooting with the ACR, you can actually strafe, because this was a big movement gap back in the day when it doesn't really exist nowadays, especially on ARs. When you're hard aiming, you simply don't go anywhere. Like, your weapon is so slow, you move so slow. Back in the day, you could actually use the movement with stock onto your advantage. You could strafe around a corner and, pre-fire someone that have no chance of getting you. It doesn't really exist in the same way nowadays. And even though the movement in some of these old school games wasn't as crazy as it is nowadays, and we probably have in this game with the slide cancel, you did have some movement to exploit with the strafing, and that hasn't really been a thing lately, which has been disappointing. And even Biffle says, Warzone is back, I ain't kidding. So, yeah, I don't know. As I say, I don't want to buy too much into the optimism at this point. We'll see what the gameplay has in store for us later on today. There was also some questions coming out of JP Krez. I believe it was his birthday yesterday as well, so happy birthday belated to JP for yesterday, around about trophy systems, because even back in COD Ghost, trophy systems were super overpowered, and they have been for some time, but the most recent game, the fact that they block cruise missiles is outrageous. It's always been outrageous, and it was the case in Black Ops 2 as well, but the Hellstorm missile, if you flew your Hellstorm missile into a trophy system, it would blow it up, which was ridiculous because the Hellstorm missile was like 30 meters long. It was massive, and yet the trophy would have no problem dealing with it. But if you blew the Hellstorm missile up into the multiple different rockets that could come out of the thing, then it wouldn't be able to stop it. The trophy would have no chance against it. So that was kind of the trade-off there, really. And most of the time, the trophy would be able to do nothing because people would always break the Hellstorm up into the multiple rockets that came out of it. Whereas the cruise, it's only one rocket. So the trophy, I don't think really should be able to stop it, right? And that's a question that JP's saying, like, maybe that's one thing we've got to think about. But very much interested to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.